Welcome to Life's a Blog, a space for healing, growth, and the messy, beautiful process of rebuilding after betrayal. I'm Trina Stewart, and this is my story. If you're wondering why I chose the story by Brandon Carlisle as the intro music for this podcast, it's because this story captures exactly what this journey feels like. All of these lines across my face tell you the story of who I am. That one line alone sums up so much. Every scar, every hardship, every chapter of our lives, good and bad, shapes who we are. And that's why I'm here. To tell you my story, and to hear yours. And to remind each other that no matter what we've been through, we're still standing. I've been a lifestyle blogger for years. It started with mom life content. But as my kids grew up, my blog shifted into covering music festivals and concerts. Eventually, I became co-owner of a lifestyle magazine in Waterloo, Ontario. But while my career has taken many turns, this platform, this podcast, stems from something deeply personal. See, life has a way of throwing curveballs, and mine came in the form of betrayal. I went through a separation that shook me to my core. The kind of heartbreak that makes you question everything. Who you are, what you believe, and where you go from here. At first I thought I was alone in it. But the truth is, so many of us have been there. We've had to rebuild, redefine ourselves, and create a new life from the wreckage of the old one. And that's why I'm here. To share my story, connect with others, and open up conversations about healing, because none of us should have to go through it alone. Before we dive into that, let me be clear about something. Telling my story isn't about castrating anyone. It's my story. And as the saying goes, if someone didn't want to be a negative part of your life, then perhaps they should have behaved better. I have long since forgiven. My story is heartbreaking, and the ending is even more so. But I've never wished ill will on anyone. I truly believe that what we put out into the world will always come back to us tenfold. So please, never waste your energy wishing harm on those who have betrayed you. It serves zero purpose. Letting go, moving forward, and focusing on your own healing is what truly matters. It took me a very long time to focus on me. So now a little about me. Years ago, I created a blog, as I said, called Life's a Blog. It started as a parenting blog and then transformed into a platform for my love of country music and concert photography. I spent years traveling to festivals, capturing some of the biggest names in music, and living for the energy of a live show. But as times passed, things changed. I stepped away from that world. Not only because I became older and there was other influencers that could better represent the festivals. My priorities shifted as well. My blog took on a new purpose. I started using the slogan, every song has a story and every story has a song. Going out there and doing photography at music concerts was a high. It was a dopamine high that gave me a great sense of ego, I guess you'd say. But I really, truly didn't understand the performers. I was there listening to their music, but I wasn't listening to their music. It was all about taking the photo, writing the review, posting it up, sending it to the PR reps, and getting kudos for promoting that show. At this time, I'm ready to listen to the music, feel a little deeper, and be like every music listener out there. When a song resonates, there's always a story behind it. And when you have a story, there's always a song to soothe you. Because music, it's been my lifeline. Some songs take me back to the darkest days. Other reminds me of the good times, and some push me forward. That's what I want this podcast to be. More than just a place where we can explore the soundtrack of healing. We'll talk about raw emotions, the grief, the loss, the rebuilding. But we'll also talk about the music that gets us through, dissect the lyrics that hit deep, and remind ourselves that even in the hardest moments, there's still joy to be found. I also hope to bring on guests, people who have walked this journey, experts who can share insights, and maybe some fellow music lovers who understand how a single song can change everything. And I'd love to hear from you. Follow us on Life's a Blog CA on Instagram, Facebook. Share your thoughts, suggest guests, and be part of the conversation. Healing isn't a solo journey, and I want this space to feel like home for anyone who needs it. This past weekend, I attended an event called Born for More, hosted by Catherine Miaz. Two incredible women, Eva Redpath and Sophie Gregoire Trudeau, spoke about personal transformation and resilience. I had the opportunity to interview Catherine, and here's what she had to say. Trina Stewart from Living Local magazine, and I'm here with Catherine Miaz from Born for More. Very pleased to meet you.
Thank you so much for coming.
I feel like this is such an exciting event because there's so many women that are going through what is being spoken about today, whether it be from betrayal trauma or deciding that their lives need to shift at a certain age where they must move forward and reinvent themselves. What made you create something like this?
So this whole event was inspired by my own journey because I felt very alone, right, going through it, and not many people want to talk about it. There's a lot of shame and guilt attached to this, and I want to shift that perspective, give women the chance to connect with other women in a community and connect them with businesses that can help empower them to move forward.
So aside from this beautiful event that you've secured, what else do you do aside from this to encourage women to become who they're meant to be?
So I offer one-on-one soulful sessions where I dive deep within women, help them connect to themselves so they feel empowered to move forward. I offer the Soulful Divorcee program, and I'm also launching my second book coming out in May.
Good for you.
Called The Soulful Divorcee as well.
So now, are they available in stores and on Amazon, or?
It will be available on Amazon come June, but you can pre-order it on my website.
What inspired you to write about your journey?
Well, it was never intended to be a book. It was kind of my journal. And then one day my inner guidance just said, this is going to be your second book. So I went along with it, took all my journaling material, incorporated poems and tools and meditation, and there you have it. It became a book.
I feel a lot of women that go through divorce and they've evolved into a more spiritual side. Like you say, soulful. That's such an important word when you're going through something like divorce, because it's life-changing. It's not just a separation of two people. It's a separation of family. It's a separation of who you thought you were. And do you find that when women kind of follow in the steps of a soulful approach, that they reinvent themselves faster?
Absolutely, because divorce will enable you to have the opportunity to use this as a catalyst in order to connect to yourself better, build a stronger relationship with yourself. And when you build a stronger relationship with yourself, everything starts to shift, including the relationships around you.
Isn't that so crazy? Because
crazy.
It took me 5 years, and I'm finally, ready to talk about my own story. And I think it's more through the soulful journey than the therapist story, like the therapist journey.
Absolutely.
I really needed a therapist, but I feel once I started looking internal, my life shifted even more.
Absolutely. Everything starts within, and it's all about self-worth. And when you connect yourself and connect to that self-worth within you, then everything starts to shift around you.
It's very cool. It's a very cool transitional part of life. Well, what can we expect today?
Today you can expect connection, inspiration, motivation, and high vibrations.
That's awesome. Sounds like a great Saturday.
Yeah, it's a great Saturday.
Thank you so much, Catherine, for speaking with me.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Thank you.
It was a really good event that I attended. I really enjoyed talking to the vendors. However, I would have rathered to hear from absolute nobodies that I didn't know tell their story, because that's where we get, when we get Betrayed, we align with people. It's kind of like a secret society where we align with people that have experienced what we experienced. No one really knows the depth of shame, harm, sometimes a little bit batshit crazy that we go through. And to hear these stories that I would have loved to have heard about someone struggling but surviving would have been so healing for many people that are just newly into the process of being betrayed and going through the process of separation or divorce. That said, I think they did the best that they could. And as I said, the vendors were great. I just feel there could have been more because this is such an important subject, especially for people in middle age. We see people splitting up all the time. And society looks and says, oh, they'll break up, but they'll move on. Hopefully they're okay. When it comes to betrayal trauma, the person that's been traumatized, people will actually go up and say to them, I'm not taking sides. And that is about the worst thing you could honestly ever say to someone that's going through betrayal trauma. Whether you decided not to take sides or take sides, the person that's been traumatized, whether it be through cheating, lying, financial deception, really doesn't deserve to hear that. That's not being a friend. It is not a friend, actually. It's a person that lives in societal means. And this is what I want to tell this story that I heard. It's a lie told the truth. That's what it's called. Let's bathe together, the lie said. The water in the well is very pleasant. The truth had been careful. Tried the water and found that it was actually quite pleasant. And so they both undressed and bathed. The lie suddenly jumped out of the water and ran away wearing the dress belonging to the truth. Angry, Truth climbed out of the well to get back to her clothes, or get back her clothes. But the world, when it saw it naked, but the world, when it saw naked Truth, turned away its eyes in anger and contempt. Poor Truth went back into the well and disappeared forever to hide her shame. Since then, the lie has been running around the world dressed as the truth, and society is very happy because the world has no desire to know the naked truth. And isn't that a fact? Especially when we're going through betrayal trauma, that's why we feel so alone. Because people will just say, you move on, you move on. I wish you the best. In my case, I have so many stories to tell and I really don't know where to start. I'm going to start from the very beginning when I was 16 years old and I met him. I lived in Ontario and I moved to Gaspé, Quebec, where I started dating this fellow. And I was absolutely enamored by him, totally in love. And we started getting a little bit serious. And at one time he told me, he said, you know, when I first saw you, I didn't think you were very good looking. And I let it go. And the next time he said that he was speaking with a girl that actually wanted to beat me up. I did a speech in school about being the new kid in town, and nobody really liked it because I wasn't really welcomed that well as a new resident. A visitor, yes, not a resident. And she wanted to beat me up. And I said to him, I said, what did you say to her when she said that she wanted to beat me up? And he said, I just laughed. And I thought, I am your girlfriend. Why in the world wouldn't you stand up for me? I ended up marrying that guy. I was with him for 24 years. And the ultimate betrayal happened. And I should have saw the red flags when I was 16 years old. So this is just the beginning. If anything in this episode resonates with you, I hope you'll stick around. I hope it'll just get better because I'm a better writer than I am talker. And please subscribe to Life's a Blog wherever you get your podcasts and follow me on Instagram, Life's a Blog CA. And let's navigate this journey together. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode.